Little overrated.
In English, that is known as humility. Yes, ma'am. Is the screen clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll start.
Yeah.
Section 3. Cause and exteriorization of a thought. The innate idea of justice. Next comes the course of the thought towards its exteriorization. The law is that thinking of physical things tends to be objectified into acts, objects, or events on the physical plane. I'll read that again. The law is that thinking of physical things tends to be objectified into acts, objects, or events on the physical plane. Not every thought that is generated is exteriorized. Some lack vitality to go on towards the physical plane. They do not have the force to develop. That is, those are which are not manifested, I suppose. Such thoughts die out and the desire in them returns into the matter of the psychic atmosphere. But the light remains in the mental atmosphere. Some thoughts are changed before they can be exteriorized. This can occur during any part of their course before exteriorization. The change occurs when the aim in the thoughts is changed. Those thoughts will be exteriorized not as originally generated, but as changed by the new aim. Some thoughts are revoked before they are issued. This is so if the doer has disapproved of the thought and its purpose after the thought has been generated. When the doer refuses his exteriorization, it is dissipated. The reason may be fear of discovery or of the consequences, or it may be a change of aim.
So any questions in this portion?
I think it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
The
Only thing we need to remember is there are 4 components of a thought that we should never forget. Right? And what are those 4? You need time, you need condition, you need a place and a human body for it to get executed or manifested. All 4 are required. So that is what he is
Can you
trying
just
to
repeat
take us to.
those 4 again, sir? Just repeat the 4 again.
You
We are
need
talking time, condition.
time, condition,
Time,
place,
condition, place, human body.
and a human body. Because if I don't have a human body, see the trigger of the thought itself is coming from the heart. Right? And then it is executed by the pituitary gland and pineal gland, the head. If you can read it once. The law is that thinking of physical things, when you think of anything physical, it gets objectified, manifested into acts, objects, or events, or acted upon to produce an action, an object, or an event on the physical. However, every thought that is generated does not get exteriorized. For basically, one, it doesn't have the energy. It is a thought, but then there is no support to that thought, that will die a natural death. Or this thought can then get what you call more support, more energy into it, and that can move forward. So you would have assigned an aim to it, so it may probably get fructified. Or else the thought may undergo a change, because when you sit and discuss it among groups, what started, like they have the infamous round table conference, right? The thought that starts, goes around and then comes back, and to the surprise of the originator, not one word of what he said might be there. So it undergoes all those cycles. Yeah?
I just have a quick question. What is this? Can you go a little bit up? Some lack vitality to go onwards the physical plane. What does it mean?
It means it doesn't manifest.
Oh,
thought
okay.
doesn't have sufficient energy.
Okay.
The thought does not have sufficient energy for the manifestation to take place.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Right? It can get negated, or you yourself, because the thought again gets processed in your knower. See, in your knower, it gets processed. In your thinker, it gets processed. In the knower, it goes, there is a tussle between rightness and
reason.
Correct. Right?
Yeah.
So that way, I think that is in the thinker, not in the knower. Knower is basically, it is selfness and I-ness. मेरे को क्या है? मेरे को क्या है? Right? There could be so many components. All those contribute to this confusion.
Okay, okay.
I'll continue.
We'll go
from the next page. So we have to scroll. Yeah. Often the human broods over certain subjects of thought in gloom, misery, or despondency without conceiving a thought. He merely creates and dwells in a drab atmosphere and entertains thoughts without issuing them. Sometimes he plays with light fancies, castles in the air, and daydreams. These occupations do not at once produce thoughts. Yet, all of this kind of thinking has a tendency to influence the mental atmosphere and to determine the aim when a thought is generated. Everything that is on the physical plane is an exteriorization of a thought. And in order to be so exteriorized, that thought has to go through a certain course. Thoughts are conceived in the heart, that is, on the light plane of the life world. They are born or issued through the brain, that is, on the light plane of the light world. And this is so even though they are thoughts of low, disgusting physical things. Thoughts, when born, contain 4 factors, like what we saw now: an aim, a plan or design, an effect or effects of the design, and the balancing factor. Thoughts, when born, contain 4 factors: an aim, a plan or design, an effect or effects of the design, and the balancing factor.
So what do you understand by an effect or effects of a design?
The result.
The result. Correct. So you can say that is the outcome.
Yeah.
Or the expectations of the action that you are doing. Even that is the outcome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah.
These will become actual in the course of the thought. A thought issues as a thought, but it is still far from being a physical thing. It issues as a point on the light plane of the light world, on the nature side. A thought is intelligent matter of the degree called feeling and desire, and of the degree called light of the intelligence, and is clothed in nature matter of all the 4 worlds. But these clothes, potential as a structure within the point, become actual in its course towards exteriorization, when the structure within the point develops outward from the point. I think this we need to go through this long sentence.
You need to start here. You need to start here.
Yeah. Thoughts, when born, contain 4 factors. That is an aim, a plan or design, an effect or effects of the design, and the balancing factor. All fine till here?
Yeah.
These will become actual in the course of the thought.
That means they will manifest in the course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A thought issues as a thought, but it is still far from being a physical thing. So it's not yet manifested.
Yeah.
It issues as a point on the light plane of the light world, on the nature side. Okay. A thought is intelligent matter of the degree called feeling and desire. A thought is intelligent matter of the degree called feeling and desire. Okay. And of a degree called light of the intelligence. And it's clothed in nature matter of all the 4 worlds. But these clothes, now these two sentences only, but these clothes, potential as a structure within the point, become actual in its course towards exteriorization. Okay. When the structure within the point develops outward from the point.
So basically he's saying this intelligent matter, the thought as an intelligent matter, so it is covered by the nature matter of the four worlds.
Correct. See,
before it enters.
Or before
See,
it before it exists.
Oh,
before it exists.
Yeah. Before, yeah.
Before it is getting exteriorized. That means it is
before it
manifesting.
exteriorizes. Yeah. Sorry.
So initially the potential is there and then the actualization happens.
See,
Yeah,
you can actually take, suppose you are reading a tree with the mind of a carpenter. Read this sentence with that.
What is that? Can you repeat that?
You look at a tree with the eyes and the mind of a carpenter.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He gets a thought when he looks at a tree. Okay.
Yeah.
There is an object that he has got in mind. A thought is an intelligent matter of the degree called feeling and desire. He gets excited. Oh, this tree size is so and so.
And how to use that for the table.
Correct.
And whatever.
And
yeah.
all that is light of intelligence that he is getting.
Yeah.
Both this whole thing is as a thought, as a material existing in his mind, that is the intelligent matter with the light, and it is nature matter of all the four worlds. It has water, it has got all those elements, right? But these clothes, potential as a structure within the point, become actual in its course towards exteriorization.
Can you explain that? I didn't get that.
Let me add one point before you further explain on it to Bala Madam. Because the definition or the origin of a thought, he described in earlier paragraphs, thought is born to the parents, the intelligence as father, and doer in the physical world as with the feeling and desire as the mother. And the light.
He's continuing, he's retaining that
yeah.
definition. He has not changed.
Right. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying he's not changing. So, I mean, if we just remember that, he's emphasizing that actually here, a thought gets the illumination or gets the light from the intelligence side, and then the exteriorization is from the doer side, which is nothing but feeling and desire. I think that's what he is trying to convince us once again, saying that yes, the thought is born to intelligence, where the light is.
See, intelligence is coming as a loan to the doer. Intelligence is coming as a loan from to the triune self, and from the triune self, it is coming to the heart and this one. After it has got triggered, then it goes into the doer.
Yeah, that's why they're called as the father and mother.
Correct.
I think.
That is correct, sir.
Yeah, that's the comparison.
Right. Correct. So a thought is that intelligent matter of the degree, that means its consciousness is related to the feeling and desire, and the degree called light of intelligence, right? And is shaped in nature matter. Nature matter means all the four elements of nature.
Clothed in nature matter.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? Of all the four worlds, but the structure of this is a potential currently within a point. It has to still grow, become actual in the course towards exteriorization, when the structure within the point develops outward from that point. Bala ma'am, is that clear?
Yeah. The structure, okay, potential as a structure within the
Correct.
point, okay, within that limits.
Correct. It starts with that, and then the potential then starts developing.
Yeah. Become actual in its course towards, yeah, you got it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Priyaji, back to you.
Yes, sir.
A
A
thought.
thought tends to carry out the potential design within it. As soon as it issues as a point, it carries within it also that which will eventually balance it. This balancing factor is related to conscience, that is, a man's knowledge of his departure from rightness, the man's moral standard of right. The design is a cause, its exteriorization is an effect, which, owing to factors beyond one's control, is not always carried out as he desires. The design is a cause, its exteriorization is an effect, which, owing to factors beyond one's control, is not always carried out as he desires. The exteriorization of the design, the exteriorization of the design is one thing. The exteriorization of the thought as a whole, quite another. If the exteriorization of its design is also the exteriorization of the whole thought, the thought is balanced at once.
That means
This
it
is the
will
case.
manifest immediately.
This is the case if one does what he knows to be right because it is right, without attachment to the results of his actions. It's also the case in trivial affairs where conscience does not warn against the thought or action. But if the thought is not,
matter में चलता है.
But if the thought is not balanced at that exteriorization, then exteriorizations must continue until in time by some one exteriorization, the whole thought has been exteriorized and is itself balanced by the doer.
So all these adjustments, this is the changing shape, negotiation, all that before the thing is accepted and it is then exteriorized.
So in due course, when everything is balanced in due course, it will get exteriorized.
Correct.
A thought may find exteriorization either as an act of the one who thought it or as an event, a happening to him because of the exteriorization of the thought of another person, which his own past thought brings about. I'll read that once more. A thought may find exteriorization either as an act of the one who thought it or as an event, a happening to him because of the exteriorization of the thought of another person.
To him. See, or as an event
happening to him
because of the exterior
of the thought of another person, which his own past thoughts brings about. Okay. To
so
balance a thought.
Group thought ho gaya actually. You got influenced by somebody else's thought.
Yeah.
Correct. But
even
it was also your thought. You wanted it, but you changed it and then taken.
So like even in a family between a mother and a kid, mother and son or daughter, something for the kids, if they, something to be, to get the thought to get exteriorized. The kid wants, the mother wants the kid to get into good college. If everything is right, I think it gets exteriorized. That's what he's saying, isn't it? Yeah.
To balance a thought is to return to nature all that is nature matter in the thought, and to return to the doer all that belongs to the doer. The balance is made at one of the exteriorizations of the thought. Then the thought is abrogated. What is abrogated?
It's cut.
I also
it's stopped like. Then the thought is abrogated. It ceases to exist and is balanced.
Suspended. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll just read that again. To balance a thought is to return to nature all that is nature matter in the thought, and to return to the doer all that belongs to the doer. The balance is made at one of the exteriorizations of the thought. Then the thought is abrogated, it ceases to exist and is balanced. A human balances a thought when he performs a duty willingly and intelligently without attachment to the results. He may not know about the thought or the method by which he balances it. Nevertheless, the thought is balanced by him. The knower and the thinker of the triune self are always ready. The doer is not ready because it is not willing to let go of that in the thought, which is nature matter, and which it tries to make a part of itself. The doer portion makes itself ready, though the human does not know it, when it desires to be honest and to do right and to be informed of its ignorance about itself and about what it wants. The doer portion makes itself ready. Sorry, where did that go? The doer portion makes itself ready, though the human does not know it, when it desires to be honest and to do right and to be informed of its ignorance about itself and about what it wants. Some of the events which will exteriorize the design may follow only after long periods. So basically it sets it in motion and then after a long time it comes.
You want to read this para once again?
Okay. The knower and the thinker of the triune self are always ready. The doer is not ready because it is not willing to let go of that in the thought, which is nature matter, and which it tries to make a part of itself. The doer portion makes itself ready, though the human does not know it, when it desires to be honest and to do right and to be informed of its ignorance about itself and about what it wants.
Correct. That can only be done.
So when it becomes aware and
Exactly.
in rightness.
Correct.
Now, here, what does ready mean, I think, is what he referred in the previous paragraph, saying that
No, sir. It's
Vishkama karma. That's what
see,
he's referring to, in my opinion.
The characteristic of knower is they are always ready to help.
Thinker and knower.
Yeah, the thinker and knower are always ready to help.
I would put it differently, sir. It is not necessarily helping others. It is what is your duty to satisfy as per your conscience. And your duty as per your conscience.
That is all under the guidance. See, all that awareness is available. It is for the doer to take cognizance of his level of maturity and make it happen.
Right. That's exactly what awakening does.
Correct.
Awakening gives you what is the correct way of doing things so that your conscience doesn't bug you thereafter. Although, if a selfish motive comes into the question saying that you always say that, right, what is there for me in it? So that is eliminated. And also he says, doer knows it, yet he succumbs to the desire.
See, that is where he is under the body control. He is under the control of the senses. And as long as he is living under the control of the senses, he will not recognize the availability of the knower and the thinker. That is one scenario. The second one is, he is aware, but he is still suffering from
attachment.
He is ignoring his conscience actually, and he is succumbing to desire. That is the second scenario.
Provided conscience knows what is right.
No, conscience, sir. Again, the doer needs to apply that conscience. Conscience is visible to him. It is available, but he has to take it because, see, the way when we are on the earth, what he explains in one of the earlier chapters is, when he is on the earth, right, everything is as per the doer, including his ability to recognize his mental framework and the the rightness, the I-ness, the selfness, and the reason. All those are coming and going, coming and going. They are not on the earth, but that strength based on the maturity, based on the consciousness of the doer. Doer is what? Is your feeling and desire.
Yes.
Correct. So they are available to you, but you have to take the decision to take that forward, which is under the control of the doer. Action,
Yeah,
all
classic
action is doer. Yes, sir.
The a classic example of this, take the example of anti-social worker.
Correct.
Okay, not that the conscious is not there, right? Sometimes he may be very lightly aware of that, but he ignores it. But very often he is not even aware of the conscious because there, I think, but he's close to that. His mind is close to that because he's involved in the nature matter over here. And therefore that conscious, though it is there, he doesn't use that.
No,
That's
and
why,
even if he is using, he will again pass it to the doer's filter of belief.
That's what. He believes that is correct what he does as an anti-social worker.
Exactly.
No,
Like
he
Valmiki,
is not
No,
believing
like-
what he is doing is right, sir. He is doing in spite of, against his own conscience. Like the people who destroyed crores of rupees in Secunderabad railway station, do you think they don't know what they are doing? They know what they are doing. In
Yeah,
spite of that, they want to do it for their own selfish reason.
You're absolutely right, but there are the two aspects of it. One is not aware of the conscious, okay. The second is what you say, he's aware of conscious, but
still he wants to do it.
chooses
because
the what is
Because his allegiance is to that mob.
desire. No, his desire.
Yeah.
That's
Ah,
not
his
the
desire.
The desire
He wants
overcomes.
to balance out his feeling and desire.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So he knows consciousness that what is right, what is wrong. In spite of
No,
that, he
Ramakrishna ji,
deviates.
what Jagdish sir is saying is that it can be two different situations for two different people. One, they might be a person who's doing it knowing it's wrong. There may be certain situations where the person doesn't know it's wrong, but he's doing it.
No, and he is doing it even if he knows that it is wrong.
Wrong, yes.
Huh.
Because the desire is there. He's overcome by the desire.
Yes.
Again, I like to slide. We can get caught in the words here. That's what I was doing. Let's differentiate between conscious, being conscious, and being conscious. You're talking about a
Correct.
conscious.
There are two days completely. See, conscience is your right and wrong.
Right. He is not conscious of his conscience.
Correct. That is also possible.
Correct.
That is also perfectly possible. Yeah.
Right.
Like the beginning stage of Valmiki's life also, no? He was doing that. He was basically like a bandit, robbing the
Angulimala.
people.
Angulimala.
That also.
So what is that? He's not conscious of is he conscious? Can you explain that?
What is the difference between conscious and conscience?
Mm-hmm.
In spelling, the difference is there is an extra N.
Yeah.
Okay, now that changes the entire meaning of it. Conscience is the one that weighs your right and wrong.
Mm-hmm. Viveka.
Correct.
Viveka.
Yeah. Correct.
Viveka, correct.
But
Yeah.
conscious is being aware of it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Being aware of.
It is
Okay.
See, conscious is like your torchlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You switch it on. If it shows you something, it is there. If it doesn't show you, the
Yeah.
torchlight is useless or you don't know its existence in spite of the light.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go further.
So in this last part that we read, yeah, sir, you have to share the screen.
Oh, I'm not
Sir, you're
sharing.
not sharing your screen.
Yes. My mistake.
So in this last part where it says the doer portion makes itself ready, though the human does not know it, when it desires to be honest and to do right. So that is where he's aligning with the thinker and to be
Conscience.
informed and
No,
to
he
be
is
informed
aligning
of
with
its,
his conscience.
that is the rightness,
Correct.
and to be informed of the ignorance about itself and about what it wants. That is with the knower.
Correct.
So
Correct.
where the doer
He is
aligns
becoming
itself with
aware. He is becoming aware, and that is triggering his honesty and rightness.
yeah. So when he's like aligning with the knower thinker, then he's ready to, then the doer portion also is ready.
And interestingly, just apply this small axiom here. See, he is overcoming his desire when he is following this path. Because what has happened? His desire itself has gone to a higher level. See, that sentence is so well constructed. See this. Right? Read this.
The doer portion makes itself ready, though the human doesn't know it, when it desires to be honest and to do right, and to be informed of its ignorance about itself and about what it wants.
So his desire has recognized that there is something more that he has to consider. Yes.
So the doer portion desires to be right and honest, and the doer portion desires to become more aware of itself.
Correct.
Even for us, I think for
even here, see, he may even that is his desire may say that even if it is wrong, do it. That also he will subscribe. That is what he is meaning here.
But once he's also saying he accepts his ignorance and also he's honest.
दोनों हो गया ना, तो रामकृष्ण जी का एग्जाम्पल भी आ गया इसमें.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screen
Just proceed.
Screen
Some of the events.
Sir, screen sharing.
Then, ऐसा भूल जा रहा हूँ मैं, ये गलत बात.
Yeah. Some of the events which will exteriorize the design may follow only after long periods. So it's not immediately manifested. The mystery of the physical...
Some may take more time. Because वो चारों चीज आना चाहिए ना.
Correct. 4 conditions.
Correct.
The process is set off and then it might come later. The mystery of the physical world is caused by this separation of cause and effect. Though cause and effect become separated, there's an indissoluble connection between them and a tendency towards balancing at every stage. Conditions and opportunities do not always permit an immediate balance, but the tendency to bring one about is there in the thought and will fulfill itself in the end. The energy in a thought is not exhausted until the thought is balanced. Usually, there are no outward indications of the connection between results and a still existing thought. And though a thought is a part of the man who issued it, there is then no physical evidence to show his connection with the belated or outstanding exteriorization. But whenever an exteriorization of a thought occurs as an event in the life of someone and results of joy or sorrow follow, his thought is there and brings about the event to him. Continue or discuss?
Yadbhavam tadbhavati.
Continue? When a thought issues on its way to be exteriorized, it is actually a point of matter on the light plane of the light world, having latent in it matter of the 3 lower worlds, and is therefore still potential. That is, its inherent possibilities have not become physical things. It is on the nature side and is guided by its aim. A thought has in itself the tendency to unfold the structure within the point, and so to express itself in physical matter, out of which the generating desire was aroused, and to which it is directed by the aim. Figure 4a. Shall I read this once more?
Yeah, I think we should
This
read.
current,
फिगर देख के आते हैं।
हाँ. 4a, sir.
हाँ?
4a. Figure 4a.
Figure 4 is this one.
Which one?
That man with the
Lines of thought.
lines of
This
thought
is
on the next
on
page.
the nature
Okay.
side, on the nature side, on the intelligence side.
And the circle, sir.
Yes.
और ये नहीं है।
Page 869. Yeah, this is the one. That's the
Huh.
one.
Yeah. On the nature side, on the intelligence side. The center is an object of desire received by an impression as a point. Line of point matter.
This is your manifested, unmanifested. And then this is going through A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What is that?
लेफ्ट से शुरू हो रहा है ना कुछ।
हाँ हाँ हाँ। Line of point matter, ठीक है। A, so that is beginning there. Aim of desire. Aim line
B.
A and B. A and B is your aim line. ठीक है?
नीचे दिया ना सर डायग्राम में, नीचे भी दिया।
This left side diagram, sir.
लेफ्ट
Second
साइड डायग्राम में नीड टू
हाँ वही
रेफर।
तो मैं पढ़ रहा हूँ ना, यहाँ पे पढ़ रहा हूँ और यहाँ पे देख रहा हूँ।
हाँ. नहीं, there's a circle right next to that also, no?
Correct. My directly I am taking this one.
Okay.
No, A to D is the nature side, and D to G, after D, I think on the intelligent side.
That is true. CD is the exteriorization standard angle of 30 degrees of surface matter. Okay. And then what happens? Then you are going to balancing line.
Angle of 30
And
degrees.
knowledge. The angle of 30. Angle of 30 is even important for your movies. That means progress के लिए. Learning line from the experience angle. Which one?
What has happened is, see, both are either set, so it's a 180 degree, right? Intelligence and 6. So each segment, because the number of stages, it gets divided 3 stages, gets divided to 30 degrees each. So it gradually
No, but
moves
that
to
30 degrees, sir, actually has got another connotation from the
diagram has to be read.
visualization perspective.
So the
Correct.
diagram has to be read like the other one that we did, no, with the nature side, and you have to go from up to down and then
That's what
from
I've done.
down to
That's
up.
what I was doing actually.
go like the
This is
anti-clockwise. you have to go.
unmanifested. This is the manifested.
Yeah.
नहीं सर, ऊपर से नीचे और फिर right जाके
And then from
नीचे से
bottom
ऊपर.
to
नहीं, वो ठीक है,
arrow
लेकिन
lines.
यहीं पे आप पूरा चीज देख सकते हो, मैं वो कह रहा हूँ.
Yeah, because each stage they're building one extra.
Correct. So whatever I was reading, I was directly going to the end result. That was what I was.
Okay.
Instead of going this way, ये U shape में जाने की जगह I was directly.
So
going.
nature side. Okay, now I'll just say that on the nature side, you're having the line of point matter. Then you're adding the aim of another 30 degrees of aim of desire, and another 30 degrees of design of the aim. Then another 30 degrees of the exteriorization of the design. Then this right side में, intelligent side में, we are having again 30 degrees of the experience.
तो ये कह रहा है कि एक्सटरलाइजेशन का डिजाइन जब हो जाएगा, it will not convert into any form unless it gets part with the active side of the intelligent side.
Correct.
Yes,
Now,
correct.
now
Absolutely,
ये पढ़ने के बाद में श्रेयांश डागा का अपना ये सुनो, क्या बोलते हैं, मैनिफेस्टेशन साइकिल सुनो, क्या है वो बोलो. Right? You need to give it the emotion so that you
Emotion.
can back. You have to attract it back, correct? So that means you are giving it energy while you are pushing it into the field and you are drawing it back. That when you are drawing, before you are drawing it back, you actually, because the mind doesn't know whether it is real or imaginary, you are exploiting that weakness of the mind, weakness of the body,
And causing
to
an
say
effect.
that you have already received it and you are experiencing it. So through that you manifest. This is the background to that manifestation process.
Also, that is how it is balancing it on nature side and intelligence equal.
Correct. Yeah.
Screen share. Screen share करना है.
करना. मैं भूल
हाँ.
We can start again.
From mystery. Okay. The mystery of the physical world is caused by this separation of cause and effect. Though cause and effect become separated, there's an indissoluble connection between them and a tendency towards balancing at every stage. Conditions and opportunities do not always permit an immediate balance, but the tendency to bring one about is there in the thought and will fulfill itself in the end. The energy in a thought is not exhausted until the thought is balanced. Usually, there are no outward indications of the connection between results and a still existing thought. And though a thought is a part of the man who issued it, there is then no physical evidence to show his connection with the belated or outstanding exteriorization. But whenever an exteriorization of a thought occurs as an event in the life of someone, and the results of joy or sorrow follow, his thought is there and brings about the event to him. When a thought issues on its way to be exteriorized, it is actually a point of matter on the line plane of the light world, having latent in it matter of the three lower worlds, and is therefore still potential. That is, its inherent possibilities have not become physical things. It is on the nature side and is guided by its aim. A thought has in itself the tendency to unfold the structure within the point, and so to express itself in physical matter, out of which the generating desire was aroused and to which it is directed by the aim. That is the three parts on the nature side on the left, what we saw. The course may be devious, may be delayed, or may be interfered with, but it descends to the physical, please scroll, sir. But it descends to the physical plane and will arrive there at last. The term descends is figurative. It does not mean moving down. All the worlds intermingle in a human body. When it is said that a thought descends from one world or plane to another, it means that the thought affects and is itself affected by different kinds of matter in a human body, and that it changes from the finer kind that clothed it to a coarser kind. From the light plane of the light world, the thought descends.
Has everyone understood this last sentence? Yeah.
All the worlds intermingle in a human body. Yes, when it is said that thought descends from one world or plane to another, it means that the thought affects and is itself affected by different kinds of matter in a human body. What is that different kinds of matter?
See, first of all, matter in the human body is what? Those four natural elements.
Okay. Earth,
right?
Earth.
And and there are 7 planes that it passes through.
Okay.
Okay. These planes are the ones where the difference between each is the density.
Okay.
So the finer form exists in, like you say, right? You got the Muladhara,
Yeah.
then you have the Swadhisthana, then you have the Manipuraka, and you rise up 7 levels.
Yeah. Finer and finer.
Right? Each of them is finer.
Yeah.
The same matter that is existing in the earth crust of the nature matter is also existing in all the other matters.
Oh, but
all
it
the
is
other atmospheres.
but in a finer matter way.
They
Yeah.
are finer. So that is
Yeah.
why he is using that sentence of it being coarser.
Okay.
ऊपर से नीचे
No,
आ
but
रहे.
here he's saying that it's changing from finer to coarser.
Correct. That means he's coming down, right? He's writing here, no?
No, that
When
means it is taking form, na, exteriorize ho raha.
Acha, acha. So from a fine thought, it's becoming the coarser kind, meaning the physical.
Correct.
It's getting manifested to a physical form. So it becomes coarse.
Correct.
Understood.
Because the density is increasing, it is coarser.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, at this point,
सर मुझे एक चीज पूछना था, लाइट प्लेन लाइट वर्ल्ड दोनों कंबाइन कैसे किया? मैं थोड़ा सा वो पॉइंट मिस कर रहा हूँ.
क्या?
लाइट प्लेन ऑफ द लाइट वर्ल्ड.
करेक्ट.
वो क्या है? प्लेन तो अलग सिस्टम हो गया अपना, उसके नीचे वर्ल्ड आएगा ना, सॉरी वर्ल्ड के नीचे प्लेन आएगा ना.
सर कैसे भी आने दीजिए, all of them are intermingled. You cannot separate them the way you are trying to separate now.
No, but he says light world to light plane to light world, and then why is not considering the sphere then? If everything is moderated and intermingled, then the sphere is also there.
No, see, first is the sphere. Sphere के
Correct.
अंदर world है, world के अंदर plane है.
Plane के अंदर matter. Yeah.
हाँ, नहीं matter नहीं है, सबके अंदर है.
Yeah, yeah.
See, you got the sphere. Sphere के अंदर plane है, plane के अंदर solid है. This state then substate है.
Correct.
Correct. So don't forget that when you are making that statement. That may end. Each of them is permitting the other. That मतलब वो पूरा ढका हुआ है.
No, that I got, sir. No, that I got. But why author is very specific on to only world and plane? Why is not told the sphere about the sphere?
No, it's not required.
Oh, so whatever he is saying in that line, I have to understand that it is all the
included.
All of them are included. Yes.
Okay.
Actually, this one is better explained in the theosophical books that I have sent to all of you.
Mm-hmm.
I read, that's why I was going to say, see, he's confining all this thought to the human brain, which is actually in the physical world. And in the physical world, we have 4 divisions: the light, air, water, and the solid segments are there. So I think he is talking about the inter-reference within the physical world, but distinctly different planes.
Correct. He is only trying to tell us to identify those elements. Otherwise, it is very difficult to separate them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
सर हम सब एक कमरे में बैठे हैं, देखिए, right? अगर हम सब एक कमरे में बैठे हैं, we are all breathing the same air. One of us has got a virus which is contagious. वो सबको मिलेगा ना उसका शेयर. कहाँ से आ रहा है? Because of my breathe in, breathe out, which is becoming your breathe in, breathe out. Are you getting the point?
We cannot separate. Yeah.
तो रामा सर जो आप कह रहे हैं हो सकता है वो भी करेक्ट हो, because as Chandra sir is saying everything is intermingled, even in the physical plane also everything is intermingled. So maybe the author from your point of view, is highlighting the physical plane in the physical plane, the light world and the light plane. But what
The
Chandra
physical
sir
world,
is saying, so Chandra sir is saying that is true, but at the same time, it is getting connected to the upper actual world and actual planes.
Surrounded and supported by other worlds also.
Sir,
Four
you are
worlds
forgetting
are there.
one thing. Sir, in the center, you have got the earth. Earth is surrounded by the other
Yes.
spheres.
All other. And
Correct.
and don't look at
they
this
permit each
circle.
other. The moment, sir, अभी छाता पकड़ के अगर मैं चल रहा हूँ रास्ते पे, छाता के नीचे मैं हूँ, लेकिन मेरे साथ तो उतना फ्लोर एरिया भी है ना,
सामान भी साथ
फ्लोर
है।
एरिया भी है ना.
Right, sir. Right. So he's just like telling, but I have to understand it from all spheres, sphere, plane,
because all of them
plane.
सर ऐसा कहीं पे लिखा नहीं है कि यहाँ तक अर्थ का स्फीयर है, इसके बाद में वाटर का स्फीयर है, इसके बाद में एयर का स्फीयर है, और फिर इसके बाद में फायर का स्फीयर है. They are all existing. One is permitting the other. Correct. And the same thing in a denser form is sitting inside our body.
Yeah, all those spheres.
See, all those spheres, if you and me were looking from the eyes of a microbiologist, we will not find a solid structure like this.
Yeah, everything is,
So everything is all those components. उतना अच्छा वाला equipment लगा के देखेंगे तो उसके नीचे वही मिलेगा. आपको मट्टी मिलेगा, पानी मिलेगा, फिर fire मिलेगा, fire in the form of light or whatever it is, right? So we are all considering the same thing. We are all made up of the same thing. The only thing is, when you are flying, when you are extremely healthy, meditation में आप हैं, when one day you feel lazy, you feel so lethargic and heavy. देखो आप. That means the particles, instead of being in the higher form at a higher frequency level, they are coming down. It is the same thing. Yeah, आगे बढ़ेंगे.
I don't know how much Mishra ji is satisfied.
Mishra ji, are you with me?
Yes, sir. No, it's I got it, sir. Right.
Okay. कहाँ से पढ़ूं?
Oh, that's why he says the term descents doesn't mean
Yes.
moving down.
आके वापस ऊपर उठता है till it exteriorizes to a physical form.
Vibration बढ़ गया
And
तो
then
ऊपर
balances.
उठेगा, vibration कम हो गया तो हो गया नीचे.
Now, one thing that we should remember in the very beginning, in the introduction, he specifies, don't look these things as circles, look them as spheres. And
they are
also
not one
he
above
says,
the other, but they are all concentric.
no, they are concentric at single point on the circumference, but just because the diagram shows at the lower side of the diagram, it doesn't mean they are at the lower end. That point could be anywhere on the larger circle.
Correct. It could be.
So you cannot say it is there descending from upwards to downwards, or
No, that is, he is only giving it for us to understand.
Yeah, so he is not controlling the direction of movement from
No, basically from nature side to intelligence side.
That's it. In any descending or ascending. Because very introduction he clarified that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
From the
From
light
where shall I read? Shall I?
From the light
From the
plane.
light plane only? Okay.
Yeah.
From the light plane of the light world, the thought descends to the light plane of the life world. And there, the potential life matter grows from the point outward, and clothing the thought becomes actual on that plane. Then, the thought descends into the form world, where the form matter becomes actual. Then it descends to the light plane of the physical world. The descent in each case is made when the matter grows from a point to the quarter circle. Then the thought enters the body or bodies through which it is to be exteriorized. It passes from the light plane to the radiant state on the physical plane of the physical world. There in the head, it takes on radiant matter from the generative system. Then it descends to the airy state in the thorax and takes on airy matter from the respiratory system. If the thought is to be exteriorized in speech or in an act not connected with food, smell, or sex, it does not go below the heart. And there it draws from the circulatory and digestive systems by means of the blood, fine fluid, and solid matter, and is exteriorized with that. So basically balancing of each of the upper and lower chakras and the next one and the next one and the next one together.
What is fine fluid?
Fine fluid is your plasma and all that. All the other fluids in the body.
Okay, so that's not considered as part of the blood.
No, it is not part of the blood.
Okay.
No, other than that also you have got water in hefty. Sir, 72% of our body is water.
Yeah,
72% of the body is not blood.
No, but I thought everything is in blood because the solid particles are also in blood. White corpuscles, cells,
all those are being carried. See, blood is one carrier. So is sweat.
Blood carries plasma,
So is
everything.
sweat. There are other waters also in the body. It is not only blood.
Okay. We assume so, yeah.
सर अगर सिर्फ ब्लड है तो कट गया तो ब्लड जाता ही रहेगा ना, थोड़ा देर के बाद में ब्लड रुक जाता है.
No, blood carries all those things. That's what we mean by blood.
Blood carries the solid elements, but there are other particles also which are there with water.
Yeah, that's right. So blood carries it. I thought the definition of blood includes all that. Because
it will not include all the other elements of water that are there inside the body.
Okay, we consider that. That's okay. Yeah, let's proceed. That's okay. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Where was it? Yeah. So if the thought is one concerned with eating or smelling or sex, it goes below into the abdominal or the pelvic section and receives there the matter that will clothe it to become an act, an object, or an event. If the thought affects many, as the prosperity which comes from a harvest or a new road, or as the calamity which follows the sweep of a disease or a devastation, it is built into the event in the bodies of all people, near and distant, who are touched by it. Continue.
Yeah.
Read again from here because there's a very important message.
One more time.
Then the thought
enters.
Then the thought enters the body or bodies through which it is to be exteriorized. It passes from the light plane to the radiant state on the physical plane of the physical world. There, in the head, it takes on radiant matter from the generative system. Then it descends to the airy state in the thorax and takes on airy matter from the respiratory system. If the thought is to be exteriorized in speech or in an act not connected with food, smell, or sex, it does not go below the heart.
It is not required to trigger those centers.
Yes. So it does not go below the heart, and there it draws from the circulatory and digestive systems by means of the blood, fine fluid, and solid matter, and is exteriorized with that. If the thought is one concerned with eating or smelling or sex, it goes below into the abdominal or the pelvic section and receives there the matter that will clothe it to become an act, an object, or an event. If the thought affects many, as the prosperity which comes from a harvest or a new road, or as the calamity which follows the sweep of a disease or a devastation, it is built into the event in the bodies of all the people, near and distant, who are touched by it. This concretion of a thought may happen instantly, or it may take a long time. If there is a delay, the thought does not reach the physical plane, but waits on the radiant form plane in the abdomen. This is so even though the thought is to be manifested as speech and does not go below the heart.
Sir, ये ऊपर जो लिखा है, it there in the head it takes on radiant matter from the generative system.
Generative system.
ये कौन सा है? एंड फिर अभी जो ये कह रहा है इट स्टेज इन द रेडिएट फॉर्म प्लेन इन द एब्डोमेन, ये कौन सा हुआ?
सर अक्रॉस द बॉडी सब कुछ है. ओके राइट. ये सेंटेंस पढ़िए एक बार, मैं एक एक वर्ड करके एक्सप्लेन करता हूं.
This
congregation matlab you just say that this collection of thought.
Collection, yes, yes.
Okay.
This
may happen instantly or it may take a long time.
No, concretion is becoming concrete, like becoming
that's
solid.
What I said.
Solid.
That's concretion. That's
Manifestation. Manifestation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if there is a delay, where does the thought reside?
ठीक है, फिजिकल प्लेन में रहा.
नहीं, फिजिकल प्लेन में आया नहीं है, तो कहाँ बैठेगा?
Yeah, it should still be in the brain.
No, it won't be in the brain. It has already moved forward from the brain.
He says it is in abdomen.
He says.
Why abdomen? Because they are coming and sitting in your adrenal and kidney.
Kidneys.
डूअर के हाथ में है ना. डूअर का घर किधर है?
नहीं, but then in that case तो पहले वाले पैराग्राफ में लिखा there in the head it takes on radiant matter from the generative system.
Like sir, आपके डूअर एक है, नोअर एक है, थिंकर एक है. You got these three?
जी.
थिंकर कहाँ पहुंचता है?
ठीक है, यहाँ तक आएगा, दिमाग तक
नहीं. थिंकर दिल तक आता है.
थिंकर दिल तक आएगा, ये आएगा दिमाग तक.
नोअर
करेक्ट. नोअर दिमाग तक आया. ठीक है. ये लाइट प्लेन किसका है? लाइट वर्ल्ड किसका है? आपका सोचिए, साइकिक वर्ल्ड, मेंटल वर्ल्ड, नियोटिक का है ना लाइट जो है.
जी, वो नोअर हो गया.
हाँ, तो वो लाइट है ना, वो लाइट है ना, वो कहाँ आके बैठेगा?
ब्रेन में बैठेगा.
वो थॉट जब ट्रिगर हुआ, लेकिन थॉट जब आता है वो फीलिंग से आता है. थॉट जो है, ये एक्सप्लेन करता है, वो हार्ट में जनरेट होता है एंड इट इज गिवन ए द पावर टू मूव फॉरवर्ड बाय द हेड. ठीक है. नाउ how is he traveling? He is traveling as radiant solid. He is traveling down as a radiant solid. ठीक है. थॉट फॉर्म हो गया, थॉट से उसका शेप फॉर्म हो गया, लेकिन फॉर्म से अभी मैनिफेस्ट होने का है. वो फॉर्म कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है. दैट इज व्हाई द टाइमिंग हैज नॉट हैपेंड. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज गोइंग एंड वेटिंग एट द एंट्री पॉइंट. जैसा आप ड्रीम में आपको क्या होता है, आप सोते हैं. मिश्रा जी हैं? हाँ है.
हाँ, मैं हूँ, सुन रहा हूँ.
ठीक है. अभी ड्रीम में आप जब उठने के पहले, राइट, योर एस्ट्रल बॉडी इज वेटिंग टू एंटर इनटू योर फिजिकल बॉडी. करेक्ट. दैट मीन्स यू हैव टू वेट. अभी आप घर तक पहुंच गए सर. आज मेरे साथ हुआ था, मैं बाहर से घर के बाहर गया. the person who is taking care of my mom, she closed the door. और अंदर जाके वो लोग दरवाजा बंद कर लिया, उनका कमरे का भी. मैं इधर से चिल्ला रहा हूँ, कोई दरवाजा ही नहीं खोल रहा है. I was waiting outside. Like that, manifestation is that final stage. जब तक manifestation नहीं होगा, he has to wait somewhere, but he has already crossed the other 2 points. Okay, so he has got the next level where he has to wait. That is at the abdomen.
Waiting area. Waiting area.
Correct.
एकदम बॉडी के अंदर घुमा दिया है इसने.
हाँ, वो बॉडी के अंदर हर एक चीज घूमता है ना सर.
पिक्चर माइंड में नहीं रहेगा ना, बॉडी के अंदर घूमते रहेंगे. हम कहाँ गया थॉट? Where the thought is traveling, if you don't have the picture in mind.
No. Now, the amount of energy that you give only will be able to make it happen. You also need to have that emotion. Form के लिए emotion चाहिए ना?
Correct.
तो वो form के लिए अभी ये struggle कर रहा है. He's waiting for the completion of the form.
एड्रेनल पे पहुंच गया.
हाँ. He's waiting there. Sir, you want to add something?
No, I just wanted to just give an example, Mr. Ji. What was your desire to understand this, right? There is a desire.
Correct.
That was your thought. So that generated a thought for you to ask this question, etc. But your desire is not filled because still the explanation has come. So where is that thought residing? That's what it says.
No, that's what I understood that it is actually. Yes, no, it has crossed and gone down.
Yeah, it's waiting in your abdominal area.
So the first line was when the thought has generated, so it remained in the brain level. And the second, when it came down,
it the brain level.
In the adrenal.
And another explanation. Cause and effect. Okay, you are waiting. Cause and effect कहाँ पर आता है?
Cause and effect आता है जब बैलेंस करने जाओ तभी इफेक्ट पता चलता है.
हाँ, वो कहाँ पर होता है cause and effect?
जब सिचुएशन और कंडीशन सामने हो.
नहीं, फिजिकली बॉडी में कहाँ पर आता है?
एड्रेनल में.
हो गया ना?
हाँ.
एड्रेनल किधर है?
So that's what I'm saying. No, I got it. What you and sir has told me that when it's generated, it remained at the brain level.
Correct.
As it started to exteriorize, it goes and stops there. Yeah, when it goes to adrenal and still it is not exteriorized.
Correct.
So it stays there. Correct. I got, but still it is in a radiant form.
It is in the radiant form only because its form is not complete.
Correct. No, I got it now. Sir.
So your radiant component is sitting in your breath.
Yes.
Breath and form together is your execution.
Correct.
Under the guidance of the doer. अभी doer के कंट्रोल में है, ये knower का हो गया, thinker का हो गया. अभी doer के हाथ में है, doer तो नीचे बैठा है ना.
Correct. वही हुआ है, knower और thinker से क्रॉस करके अब doer लेवल पे आके वेट कर रहा है.
Correct.
So when the conditions are right, so from the doer part, it will
now for a thought to manifest, you need 4 things. What are they? Just think.
Aim, purpose, condition, balance.
Purpose.
Correct. तो इसमें एक भी नहीं है, तो पूरा नहीं होगा ना?
या तो कोई भी एक चीज नहीं होगा तो वेट कर रहा है वो.
हाँ. और वेटिंग करेगा बिफोर एग्जीक्यूशन, मतलब वो एड्रेनल के अंदर ही रहेगा. क्या यार अभी तक नहीं हुआ आपका
कार्टिसोल बढ़ते जा रहा है, फ्रस्ट्रेशन लेवल बढ़ाते जाएगा.
हाँ, आपका कार्टिसोल बढ़ाते जा रहे हो, अभी तक नहीं हुआ. यार छोड़ो यार, नहीं हुआ तो हुआ, नहीं तो नहीं हुआ, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं.
वो पार्ट भी उसने बताया है when you dislocate that from your exactly it cease to exist.
Correct. So this Priya ma'am.
Yes sir. Adik, take the phone. This concretion of a thought may just 1 second sir, I'm just hand the phone over. Yeah, this concretion of a thought may happen instantly or it may take a long time. If there's a delay, the thought does not reach the physical plane, but waits on the radiant form plane in the abdomen. This is so even though the thought is to be manifested as speech and does not go below the heart. it is nevertheless on the radiant form plane in the region of the kidneys. When the thought is arrived on the radiant physical plane, that is, in a state of radiant or astral matter, it is well defined and is the counterpart of what is intended to be as a physical act, object, or event. That is why events can sometimes be foretold. वो थोड़ा फिर से पढ़ेंगे previous line से. हाँ. When the thought has arrived on the radiant physical plane, that is, in a state of radiant or astral matter, it is well defined and is the counterpart of what is intended to be as a physical act, object, or event. Okay. This is why events can sometimes be foretold.
Sometimes be foretold. Correct. Correct.
So it is well defined and is the counterpart of what is intended to be as a, okay. When the astral form becomes the, you were saying something?
No, I just said because it is there. It can be foretold because it is there. It's already there, well formed, it is waiting. Yeah.
मतलब उसको पूर्वाभास हो जाता है, पूर्वाभास कहते हैं ना.
हाँ, वही. That is your intuition also. When you are aware,
you can sense it coming.
See, it could be intuition. Sorry. See, it could be intuition or it could be an outcome of experience. But my gut knows. The other interpretation is this is a gut feel. It is a gut feel. It is known at the gut. Because experience has passed it on to the body mind. The body mind is your gut.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why doctors say you have another mind in the gut.
And you have 7 minds, madam.
Yeah. I know. But doctors
every
terminology.
Every chakra has got a mind of its own. Because every chakra, the energy point, the energy center has got neurons which are moving around. And whenever there is a neuron collection, it is going to be bound to be a mind. Neuron through which consciousness is moving.
Yeah.
मतलब माइंड के साथ साथ बॉडी के अंदर भी न्यूरॉन मूव कर रहे हैं.
नहीं, वो चक्रा सेंटर में है, न्यूरॉन्स है हर एक का. गट का अलग से है, हार्ट का अलग से है.
That's right. He always says 7 minds, so we can correlate that.
And actually, if you read Annie Besant and Leadbeater's book on 7 bodies, 7 minds, they have written 2 lovely books, are not very big, 70 pages and 32 pages. Excellent books. He says, man, visible and invisible. Which is your 7 layers? Annamaya Kosha to
Nirvana
Kosha.
Nirvanamaya. Visumaya.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Annie Besant says 7 principles of man. So there she talks about all the 7 planes and how they behave. And then Annie Besant has again written another book, The 7 Bodies of Man. Man and 7 bodies. All these are emanating from the doctrine of Madam Blavatsky, the secret doctrine.
Blavatsky.
Yeah.
Sir, I have converted it. I think today I will put the link for everyone in terms of the audio books also. Blavatsky.
Fine. Okay. Right.
Should we stop here or should we continue, sir?
We'll stop at the end of this passage.
Stop because tomorrow is Sunday.
Yes,
tomorrow is Monday. And people have got working. So we'll stop here.